Next on All Access.
Get here! We all went through a lot more than what we're going through right now!
He's pressured, starts to run to his left. Locke, chased by Winovich. Locke, hit by Devin McCourty.
Do you prefer covering guys? Do you prefer playing in the box, trying to stop the run?
I prefer whatever makes it tough on the offense. So if that's me being that linebacker sometimes, then I'll do it.
All of a sudden, this is like guys with hats going on that says Super Bowl champion, and people pointing up into the crowd like, we did it, baby, I love you.
You guys predicted blowouts against the Denver Broncos. I'm going to start with you.
No, I didn't see it coming at all. I was fooled.
I just never thought that we would see the Patriots play that way.
Football was back in Foxborough on Sunday, but it was the Denver Broncos who walked away victorious. Hello and welcome to Patriots All Access presented by GEICO. I'm Steve Burton. After 2 weeks off, it was a disappointing way for the Patriots to return as they dropped to 2-3 on the year. And it doesn't get any easier as Jimmy Garoppolo and the defending NFC champion San Francisco 49ers come to Gillette this Sunday. We'll preview that game and look at some of the Patriots' problems. But we begin with a look back at Sunday's loss to Denver.
And all again, everyone, a very pleasant good afternoon, and welcome to Foxborough's Gillette Stadium, and welcome to the Patriots and the Broncos finally here in Week 6.
To get here, we all went through a lot more than what we're going through right now. To get here, somebody helped you. To get here, you fought through something. You fought through all of that. To be right here, right now. That's what you think about today. We count on each other. Have fun. Dominate on three. 1, 2, 3. Dominate. Still good. Feeling good. Great day. No complaints.
Takes a shotgun snap. Patriots with extra rushers. Locke throws to the right for Judy. Jones is there, and it's incomplete. That's it, Jones. Sailing to the uprights, left to right, and it's good. A blitzer picked up. A throw down the right side for a tight end. Contact in the end zone, and the pass is incomplete. He's looking that way. He's thrown to the back corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Trying to find Judy streaking across the end line. Kick lifted to the uprights is good. Shotgun snap to Locke. He's going to hand it off to Freeman. Running left and tracked down from behind. Adrian Phillips. The kick is driven toward the uprights, right down the middle. It's good. He's pressured. Starts to run to his left. Locke chased by Winovich. Locke hit by Devin McCourty. McManus lifts the kick to the uprights, and it's good again. A high snap brought down. The kick by McManus. A line drive headed to the uprights, and that kick is good.
Let's go. Let's crank up, O. Find a way now.
First and 10 snap. Newton's back under pressure. Starts to run straight ahead. Slips again. Carries to the 40, to the 35-30. Catches to the 25-20. Right side 15. Newton with a stutter step at the 10. And then a stiff arm. Eventually forced out by Simmons. Now takes the snap. Trying to push his way straight ahead. And Newton following the center Tooney. No signal yet from the officials.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knees were not down, and the ball stretched across the goal line. It's going to be a touchdown.
Get away! Plenty of time. Let's go.
shotgun snap to lock up third down and 11. Back in the pocket, rears back, runs to the left side, intercepted by J.C. Jackson. It's another 25-20, trying to tighten up his way deep into Denver territory.
It's a break right there, man.
And the kick is good. Lock under some pressure, hit as he releases the ball. Deep downfield is going to be intercepted by Jonathan Jones. Fourth and 10, shotgun snap. Broncos setting the blitz. A throw by Newton to the right. Incomplete with Harry, who was open at the 10-yard line. Broncos are going to come away with their second straight win and their first victory here at Gillette since 2006.
Well, we are now here in our Bob's Discount Furniture Studios with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. Top of the show, guys.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no is right. And here's the oh, no, because I'm pointing my fingers
Right
at
here.
both you guys. You guys predicted blowouts against the Denver Broncos. I'm going to start with you.
How come you don't want to start with
Oh, I can start with you.
Explain yourself.
Explain
I
yourself.
mean, listen, I missed it. I thought this was, and I think, Mike, you used the term, a get-right game. I thought all the signs pointed to that. And a young quarterback, I thought, coming here, they would dial up some pressure, force some mistakes, and we really didn't see that until it got real desperate. And I don't even think the mistakes that Drew Lock made late in the game were forced. I thought they were just sort of poor execution and poor timing on the Broncos' part. No, I didn't see it coming at all. I was fooled.
I get so disappointed because I feel like we misled the viewers, you know, and I really do. I take it to heart, you know.
We earned
and
your trust.
I just never thought. I never thought that we would see the Patriots play that way. Like that, I really felt, Paul, and you might see it differently. I felt like the Broncos were trying to give them the game.
At the end of the game, they did try and give them the game.
That the Patriots couldn't take it, to me, I just would never expect that from a Patriots team.
So I got to be fair, because I am a fair man. No one saw this coming.
Right.
All right? No one saw this coming. How did you fix it?
Well,
How
I mean,
did the Patriots
there were
pull off
obviously
it?
some things that I think we all knew about and talked about last week and maybe didn't put enough stock into, like the practice situation, which I do think was part of it. But how do they fix it? They got to get off to better starts, Mike. You know, I think the offense is obviously limited, but I wonder if maybe there's something, maybe you go a little tempo early in the game, try to kickstart things, because right now they are just not moving the ball consistently to start games. I think they only have 7 points in the first quarter, and that was a pick six in Seattle by Devin McCourty. So I think they got to get off to better starts and stop digging holes.
I think practice will obviously help, but I thought they were going to be fine last week because I watched what Tennessee did, which I know it's not apples to apples, but they had a similar situation and went out, in my opinion, and beat a better team in the Bills when they were in that situation.
No question.
So I think practice will help, but if I had to isolate one thing, just eliminate the bad football. Like I had about 5 plays in this game that I would put in the bad football category that if 1 or 2 of those are eliminated, maybe they win. I'm thinking about Joe Tooney's shotgun snap.
That's a big play.
You know, I'm thinking of the deep pass on the first drive of the game where Jason McCourty's coverage, to me, wasn't as competitive as you'd like it to be. 3rd and 21, Paul.
Can't
to
happen.
me, bad football. Cam Newton's 2 interceptions. Ryan Izzo not tucking the football away. Just give me 2 or 3 of those plays, maybe different.
And the 3 turnovers in particular, Steve, because they had turned it over a bunch in Kansas City. They had a couple of weeks to talk about that. You know the way Bill Belichick feels about turnovers in general. You know that was a big point of emphasis, and they went out and turned it over 3 times again. So that was disappointing that they have the errors, and now it's, you know, they're repeating the same kinds of mistakes.
All right, so don't go anywhere, because we're going to have you a little later on in the show, because we have to figure out a way how this team is going to bounce back, correct?
Hopefully with
We
some
gotta
better
bounce
predictions for you too, Steve.
We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this.
Coming up on All Access.
We talk with one of the newest Patriots, Adrian Phillips.
Mainly it's just been trying to put myself in different spots and understand how the defense works as a whole.
And speaking of defensive backs, we visit one of the best in franchise history, Lawyer Milloy.
Here's what all those practices meant. This is what they were talking about all these years.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. By the Dan O'Brien Auto Group. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan, keeping it awesome. And by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots.
I'm Lauren Spencer with your Week 7 Patriots Social Media Minute. If you follow Justin Bethel on Instagram, you'll soon realize he is a man of many talents. Not only is he a Pro Bowl special teamer, he's pretty good on the drums too. Last weekend, he graced our Instagram feeds with a performance. As COVID-19 remains prevalent, wearing a mask in public is more important than ever. But that doesn't mean we can't get creative with our mask designs. A Patriots fan on Reddit is walking around Falcons territory with this across his face. You can certainly argue that Stephon Gilmore may be headed for Canton, Ohio when his playing career is over, but in the meantime, his game-worn jersey from the Week 2 matchup in Seattle is already on its way.
It is the first game that the Patriots played in their new away jerseys in 2020. This jersey is being sent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio.
That's all for this week's Patriots Social Media Minute. I'm Lauren Spencer.
Welcome back to All Access presented by GEICO. There is no time for a pity party here in Foxborough. Dan Roach reports on a Patriots team committed to improve.
Sacked again by Denver.
After an ugly loss to Denver, they're a game under 500 and in third place in the AFC East. But their focus isn't on that right now.
We didn't play a very good game. Made a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of things to clean up and a lot of things to improve and get better at.
Got to keep making steps to move forward to get better as a team. And really come together and, start to show what this team's going to be, how the season's going to go for us.
Improvement, urgency, two key words the players took to the field midweek with when they finally experienced a routine Wednesday practice for the first time in weeks.
Being back to somewhat of a normal schedule, I think brought a lot of excitement back to the team, and also that sense of urgency of how much we need to get done in practice. So I think there was an excitement and a sense of urgency of wanting to be out there and wanting and needing to get better.
Improving every day is what we need to do. We have this opportunity out on the field, so let's not let it go to waste. Improve, find a way to improve. Even if you think you don't need anything to improve in, find a way.
And that old saying, practice makes perfect, rings true, especially when you're facing an explosive offense like the 49ers have.
You challenge each other. Your scouting goes out there and gets you a great look. Because you play against the offense like we're about to face, well, the game comes from in practice, and it comes from the scout team. If the scout team ain't giving you a good look, you ain't gonna go out there and play at a high level.
Now, this is the latest the Patriots have been under 500 under Bill Belichick in a season since 2002. In fact, how good have the Pats been? Think about this under Bill Belichick. Since 2001, they've only been below 500 for 13 weeks. Second best, Pittsburgh at 63. For Patriots All Access, I'm Dan Roach.
All right, Dan Roach, thank you very much for joining me now as Patriots defensive back Adrian Phillips. And Adrian, it's good to see you, my friend. Let me ask you this right out of the gate. How has it been going for you so far in New England?
It's good to see you too, first of all. And it's been going really well, We dropped a few losses, but other than that, getting in tune with the defense and learning how these guys play and just going out there and making plays has been real fun.
How have you made the adjustment, you personally, integrating yourself into the defense?
Mainly, it's just been trying to put myself in different spots and understand how the defense works as a whole. And then talking to guys like Ben and Dad and J-Mac, who've been here for some time, and getting their perspective on things and seeing how they play certain situations and certain calls, and just putting myself in that situation and getting a better understanding of it.
You're looked upon as a versatile player. You can play safety, you can play linebacker. What do you prefer? Do you prefer covering guys? Do you prefer playing in the box, trying to stop the run?
I prefer whatever makes it tough on the offense. So if that's me being that linebacker sometimes, then I'll do it. If that's me being that safety, then I'll do it. So whatever puts us in the best position to win, that's what I'll do. And it really doesn't matter to me. I have fun doing both, just finding ways to disrupt the game. If I can do that, then I'm doing my job.
All right, I'm going to go family on you. You ready? Your wife is a doctor. Joined the club because you got 2 other teammates who wives are doctors as well, right?
Right.
What's that like?
Man, first of all, being married to a doctor is. I was just happy she said yes. You know, I threw the question out there and she said yes, so I was like, I got it. So it's been great. Just my wife, she's a hard-driven woman. You know, highly motivated, and she just loves kids. She's in pediatrics, and she just loves being around those kids every day and just helping them the best way that she can. And then coming here with 2 other guys, with Dev and Slate, you know, their wives being doctors as well. She hasn't had a chance to meet them personally just because of the whole COVID situation, but she's so excited and she can't wait to meet them.
Knowing that she's a doctor, does it help you feel more comfortable that you're able to bounce things off of her, especially going through times like this?
Yeah, she sees like everything that's going on firsthand. You know, she's been on the front lines along with some of her coworkers since February, I want to say. So I bounce a lot of things off of her, just letting her know how we're handling certain situations when guys, you know, unfortunately test positive or certain guidelines that the NFL is requiring us to take. I bounce those off of her, and she lets me know.
I hear you. Hey, good luck on Sunday against San Fran.
Thank you.
You got it. Adrian Phillips, our guest. We'll be back with more Patriots All Access right after this. Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time now to talk to Bill Belichick, head coach of the Patriots. And Coach, before we get to a couple questions regarding the Denver game, you know, a turbulent couple weeks for you guys. Is there a certain appreciation to get out there on that field prior to that game and just be thankful that you're actually playing an NFL football game?
Well, sure, yeah. I think that's what we're all work for. The sacrifices we make and the adjustments and so forth is just so that we can have an opportunity to play and coach in the game. So, you know, it's a good opportunity, and looking back, there's maybe you take some things for granted in previous years, but this year it's been, you know, a challenge just to be able to do everything in a way that, you know, you have an opportunity to play. So, yeah, we do appreciate that.
You know, and I know you do a good job, obviously. You're a great coach, but you pride yourself on preparation, participation in practice, that one-on-one coaching. Is that the toughest part, is this, you know, where you can meet as much as you want, but, you know, there's a certain element of timing in the game of football that makes it difficult to go out there and give it your best for 60 minutes on a Sunday?
Yeah, well, we certainly need that. I think every team does, and I've only done it a couple times in the last 2 weeks, so hopefully this week we can have an opportunity to go out there and practice the execution, timing, fundamentals that we need to perform better. And so, well, that's what we're shooting for.
All right, I know you have a lot of respect for Mike Shanahan, and you've had Mike around the program here. You've coached against Mike, but his son, Kyle, are they cut from the same cloth when you look at the way he operates his team as opposed to his dad's teams?
Well, I think there's you know, a lot of similarities. Of course, both Kyle and Mike are, you know, offensive-minded coaches, and I think they're good head coaches, and they can certainly manage the entire team. But, you know, offensively, their strategies of trying to put pressure on the defense and force defensive conflicts, and particularly attack the edge of the defense, the run force, and the perimeter is something that both Mike and Kyle have done a good job of. And defensively, you have to defend a lot of space, a lot of different looks, and honestly, a lot of different people. So those are big challenges defensively, and you know, I think both Mike and Kyle have shown the ability to do that on a consistent basis.
All right, the guy that gets him the ball, Jimmy. You had Jimmy here in the program, and he's very complimentary as far as the foundation that you guys helped build him to the point he's gotten now. What do you see different in Jimmy and how he's changed since you had him here in New England?
Yeah, well, I think Jimmy's gotten an opportunity to play, and he's certainly taken advantage of those opportunities. And led his team to the NFC Championship last year. Unfortunately, weren't able to, keep him, just due to the system that we're all playing under here. But that's worked out well for both us and him. And he's got an opportunity to play, and he's performed well and done well for his team. So, we wish him well, but not this Sunday.
All right, there you go. More Patriots All Access. We'll return after this. We'll be back later in the show with the Belestrator.
Coming up on All Access.
Relive a very memorable Patriots 49ers game.
Ty Law gets a pick in that game. Of course, my favorite, Teddy Bruschi. Jerry Rice catches it, gets a strip from behind.
And later, Coach Belichick spotlights Jimmy G on the Belestrator.
One of the most dangerous parts of San Francisco, the running game, the play action, but then you have, a good quarterback who stands in here under a lot of pressure.
You're watching Patriots All Access.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. By the Dan O'Brien Auto Group. Come in to any Dan O'Brien Auto Group store today and get your awesome protection plan, keeping it awesome. And by Bank of America, official bank of the New England Patriots.
Patriots fans know that lawyer Milloy was selected in the second round of the 1996 NFL Draft. Did you know that Milloy was selected twice in Major League Baseball by both the Cleveland Indians right out of high school and by the Detroit Tigers in 1995? Milloy was a 4-year captain for the Patriots, including that magical 2001 season. He played 15 years in the National Football League, with stints in Buffalo, Atlanta, and Seattle. He made 4 Pro Bowls and was a 3-time All-Pro.
Welcome back to All Access, presented by GEICO. He was one of the most charismatic and influential players of the 90s and early 2000s. This week, we go back into the vault to check in on the ever-popular safety, Lawyer Milloy, where we visited him in his home state of Washington.
That's why I have them in sports programs, because that's why I learned my discipline, right? That's why I'm tough on them when they're failing, because I know what they want, and where they want to go. We've had our battles.
Oh yeah, we've had our battles, but the older I get, the better it gets, and the more I understand him. So.
And I have to be tough on you now in order for you to have the chance to be great later.
Good. Lawyer Milloy was selected by the Patriots in the second round of the 1996 NFL Draft, a pick greatly influenced by his defensive back coach at the time, Bill Belichick. A Super Bowl appearance in his first year brought hope for future championships. But it wasn't until his 6th season that he experienced the pinnacle of his professional career as captain of the 2001 Super Bowl champion Patriots. Snap, ball down, kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Adam Vinatieri!
Yeah, I was like, trying to pick him up, and he was heavy. And I was like, God damn. And no, I'm joking. No, that moment was just, it was just a moment of climax. Like, oh crap, this is what it feels like from Pee Wee League, Boys Club, going to junior high, high school, college, pros. here's what all those practices meant. This is what they were talking about all these years. When Amanda comes over, I just, get in here, girl. Like, and here's a coach that, I revere and want to thank so much because of the preparation that he's given me and the team in order to feel this feeling. And I'm looking around, I'm seeing each of my teammates doing different stuff, but it seems like it's in slow motion, like, and all of a sudden there's just like guys with hats going on that says Super Bowl champion and people pointing up into the crowd like, we did it, baby, I love you. Like, it just, everything was just, it felt like you could just taste every morsel of a good meal.
The euphoria was short-lived, for after a disappointing 2002 campaign, Milloy was unceremoniously cut on the eve of the 2003 season.
It stung more basically because I knew what I was leaving and what I helped build. That's what stung. But in all reality, it's a business, And sometimes in business, you gotta let, you let people go. And some of the people that, you might even love, they're always trying to get younger, faster, stronger for less money. I was no different.
Today, Milloy lives about 25 miles outside of Seattle in Woodinville, Washington.
Keep the eye level the same.
A full-time husband, father, and part-time coach to his college-age daughter.
Lawyer Milloy is living a simple life. I have 4 daughters and a wife. When I retired, I was gonna seek out broadcasting or something like that, but I realized that my family wasn't as close as what it should have been. But I said I need to give back to my family. I mean, I need to right this ship and get it going in the right direction. It's so good, man. She's wearing my number 36. I wear number 36 because I was a 36 pick in the draft. 36 is a good number, but she fought it for a long time. She don't want to follow in daddy's footsteps, but she's starting to respect me. And she started to take pride in who she is and where she came from. Yep, it's fun to see. Up next, I'm so proud of what the Patriots have accomplished over the last almost 2 decades.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
It just reminds me how old I am, but it also reminds me of the things that we accomplished.
Hey, Zoe here, and when I think of memorable games against the 49ers, I obviously got to go back to 1998. Why? Because I played in that game. More importantly, we needed that game. We had to win it to get in the playoffs at the end of that 1998 season. In that game, I had to fill in for the injured Drew Bledsoe. Had the pin in his finger, obviously shut down for the rest of the year. And one of my favorite moments in that game, Sean Jefferson was my wideout, flanker to the right side. And we ran a ton of curls in that first half. And we had another curl called, I think it was a 3rd down. And Sean's in the huddle and goes, "We're not running that curl again." I go, "What? What do you mean we're not running that curl again?" He said, I'm going to give him a double move and I'm going to run a go route. I hit him in stride. The place went nuts. I get to the sideline. Pete Carroll's like, "Did you change the play?" I'm like, "Sean changed the play." He goes, "Great throw. Don't do that again." And talking about the defense during that game, we didn't have Willie McGinnis in that game, but we had other great Patriot Hall of Famers. Ty Law gets a pick in that game. And of course, my favorite, Teddy Bruschi. Jerry Rice catches it, gets a strip from behind, balls out, helps us win the football game. We had a good mix of talent on that team. Ben Coates was my tight end. Robert Edwards was the young running back, took a screen pass, took it in for a touchdown. But at the end of that game, we had to come back. And I remember it was a big 4th down play, and Ben Coates told me in the huddle, "Zoe, just bang it on me. I'm going to push off on the linebacker. This is when tight ends could push off." He did it. I hit him. We end up scoring. We get the kick. We end up winning that thing.
Better to check in with the 49ers than with the voice of the team, Greg Papa. There's some familiar faces on the 49ers. It all starts with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, who's dealing with something of his own, that ankle injury. How much has that impacted his play?
Well, he got hurt early in the second game of the year against the Jets. Quinnen Williams got him from behind, and then he missed the next 2 games. He played a terrific game on Sunday night to get a huge win over the Rams.
All we've heard Coach Belichick talk about this week is the outstanding play of tight end George Kittle. How does a defense contain a player like Kittle?
I actually played that bite for George on my radio show yesterday, and George was so excited. I mean, Coach Belichick, for him to single out George and put him in the conversation of a John Mackey is amazing. But George is that good of a player. He's a throwback player to a different era. And he's so good yards after catch. He runs angrily. And right now, he is the best tight end, the most complete tight end in the NFL.
Well, Sunday should be interesting. You have the offensive mind and Kyle Shanahan going up the defensive wizard and Bill Belichick. And, of course, the former Patriots backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo taking on Cam Newton. Greg, thanks so much for the time.
Should be spicy on Sunday, Megan. Thank you.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access. Time now for the Belestrator, and taking a look at the San Francisco 49ers, Coach. A lot of tight formations, a lot of motion, a lot of play action, misdirection. What are we starting with here? They got this new guy called Ayuk. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, well, as you would expect with the quarterback under center and their depth at running back, they do an excellent job of running those stretch plays and some gap plays and mixing it up. And these running backs run hard. They're hard to tackle, and they have a good offensive line. But they also use their receivers quite a bit as well, both to block, like you see right here, and then Ayuk coming around on the reverse. And 49ers got a couple lead blockers out here in front of them. And so there he goes into the end zone for a touchdown against the Giants. So they do a good job of complementing their running game and primarily the stretch running game with play action passes and other type of alternative runs, reverses, slip screens, speed sweeps, and things like that to get the receivers involved in the running game as well, primarily to the outside. And you see Ayuk here when he gets the ball in his hands, turns it into a nice run.
That's interesting because communication is going to be a key for you guys, especially in 3 wide receiver sets, meaning, like you just talked about right there, these guys can become extensions of the running game when they're handed the ball.
Yeah, and they're very good with the ball in their hands. They when they get out in space, they're big, they're fast, they run hard, and they can eat up a lot of yardage in a hurry. And last year in Super Bowl against Kansas City, here they are in a 2-back set, and this is Deebo Samuel down here, number 19, running the reverse off the power play here, where Jimmy flips him the ball, and he gets to the edge here. They kick out the force player. And Samuel turns it up inside. And, you worry a lot about the power running game, the stretch running game, the cutback plays, and then you also have to, defend these plays to the receivers, reverses, speed sweeps, tear screens, things like that. So they attack you on a lot of different fronts.
All right, moving on here. Big blitz play.
Yeah, this is a key play in the Rams game here. 4th and 2. Started the second quarter, 7-0 game. So, a long way to go here, but. The Rams blitz on this play and on 4th and 2, and this is Kittle up here at the top of the screen, and I think this is really the one of the most dangerous parts of San Francisco, the running game, the play action, but then you have a good quarterback who stands in here under a lot of pressure. You get 2 guys bearing down on him, one of them is unblocked, and stands in there, makes a good throw, and then Kittle not only converts the 4th and 2 here, but makes a good catch and run play, breaks a tackle, goes 43 yards for a touchdown. So this Kittle's a really tough guy to defend, fast, athletic, good route runner, but then the catch and run plays, he can take a short one to the house. So we got to do a good job of tackling him. And again, Jimmy's tough. He'll make throws under pressure. He'll take hits and stand in there. So they've got a lot of weapons there in the passing game as well.
Really good breakdown right there. Should be an exciting game back in that 425 window. Good luck against the 49ers, Coach.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. There's your Belestrator. More Patriots All Access will return right after this.
Patriots All Access is brought to you by Pepsi. That's what I like. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New England Patriots. And by Putnam Investments. Putnam Investments and the New England Patriots. Proud partners committed to an active game plan on the field and off.
Welcome back to Patriots All Access in our Bob's News Conferential Studios. Back with Mike Reese and Paul Perillo. Now, I know we've been spoiled, okay? We've seen Tom Brady for the last 20 years, and we've seen Brady work on his mechanics. You know where I'm going with this? Cam Newton in mechanics. Where do you go with that?
I don't think he's the most fundamentally sound guy, and I don't think he ever has been. He's always been successful with a lot of his physical traits, right? He's got the big, strong arm, and he obviously can move, unlike most other quarterbacks with power and speed. But I do think that, maybe some of the processing, Mike, has been a little slow. Certainly, I thought you made a good point early on talking about, the layoff, maybe him sitting in the pocket a little bit longer, maybe taking a little bit longer to process what's going on and where he wants to go with the ball. That, to me, is all part of the mechanics, and they weren't great on Sunday.
Well, he's more athletic, Mike, right?
Well,
we know that.
And, Steve, that was the point I was going to make. It's a little bit of a trade-off. We talk about Cam as a runner, bringing a different element to this offense, so you get a little bit of a positive in that category and a little bit of a negative in the sort of mechanics pure passer category. He's not at the same level of Tom Brady, quite frankly.
So is there a level of concern here? And if there is, what is it?
Yeah, I do think they're sort of trending, in the wrong direction. It started off, it was a great start with him, with a lot of the read option runs, and he was ridiculously productive. He carried the offense in the opener. And then, they get down in Seattle, and I thought his fourth quarter was really promising to see him be able to get in the hurry up and do things that you would think would take more practice time and look pretty comfortable pushing the ball downfield and getting different guys involved. And since then, I think what you've seen is maybe some teams saying, okay, we're not going to let him kill us by keeping the ball as often as he did in those first couple of games. We're going to make him sit in the pocket and try to beat us from there. So, yes, my level of concern is if the run part of his game isn't apparent, does he have enough to fall back on in the passing game? That's my concern.
And I think that's a fair question. I guess I'm a little bit in a different spot here, Steve. I think any big picture judgments, to me, I'm tabling for 2 more weeks. The idea of, do they need to change personnel, or where are we with Cam? All that stuff. I just feel like what's happened the last 2 weeks has sort of disrupted any evaluation because they haven't had a chance to practice as much, and I'm not giving them an excuse for that. I just think it's an incomplete picture is what I'm trying to say.
So have I been unfair with Cam saying he's only practiced just once in the last 3 weeks? Maybe I'm expecting more out of it?
I think that's a fact. I don't think he's had enough practice time. Like Mike said, it doesn't mean that everything that they did on Sunday is forgivable because they didn't get on the practice field. He didn't play well. Yeah. And I don't think he played all that well against the Raiders either, particularly in the passing game. They ran the ball very well in the second half of that game and made it easy, and they still couldn't throw the ball as effectively as you'd like to think that they should. So I don't think you're being unfair at all.
I don't either, Steve. And I just think, and I don't want to be contradictory because I think they should be able to overcome and play better, without the practice time. I just mean more in the big picture, making a sort of declarative statement of, this is a problem, or, this isn't good enough. I just think you need a little more time, in my view, before we go there.
Prediction time. You going to make up for last week?
I'm going to stick with the Patriots, I'll tell you that. I think that they find a way to bounce back. I don't think this is going to be an easy game at all, though. I think San Francisco is banged up. And coming across the country with all the guys they're missing, they're certainly not feeling bad for the Patriots situation. They have a lot of guys out. But I think the Patriots find a way to squeak by 20-17.
Yeah, the one sense I've gotten, and it's just a sense, is from Bill Belichick, the idea being just give me a regular week to have a sort of a chance to get my team where I want it to be.
Right.
I think they get it this week, and because of that, they'll squeak out a win, 23-20.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. All right. We will see if you were right next week. That'll do it for this week's edition of Patriots All Access. For Mike Reese and Paul Perillo, I'm Steve Burton. Have a great week, everybody. See you later.